Hey guys, welcome back to the Friday Vlog, where we discuss activity that goes on here with the BuzWeaver channel. That includes things like current events, headlines that are in the news, pop culture, social media, technology, and items of interest that come up during the week that allow us to have a little bit of a dialogue. I want to welcome all of you guys from New Tech and, of course, all of you here on YouTube for your guys' continued support.
We start things off from the Republic Brief. Biden brags about accomplishment on Twitter, then a note from Musk appears. Democrat Joe Biden's Twitter account has failed another fact check, this time over his claim about the nation's unemployment numbers. And the left is not at all happy that their political idol is being treated like a conservative. Imagine that, just the idea of someone being treated as a conservative, as to suggest that if you were a conservative on Twitter or other platforms, you were always the target of some sort of correction or comparison contrast to something the left may have said or then tried to reinterpret. Biden's official Twitter account has been humiliated again after context was added to a tweet regarding a claim made about falling unemployment during his 2 years in office. The White House bragged about reduced unemployment claims since President Joe Biden took office, pointing out that they had declined from 18.8 million to 1.4 million over the course of his presidency, the Western Journal noted on Monday. The tweet made no reference to unemployment stemming from C virus, and the community note that was inserted made that important distinction. That's right, because you put things in context. And I see this because I have conversations with individuals who interpret things the way they want to interpret them, and then try to accuse me of saying that I don't understand what they're trying to say, when in reality I do understand what they're trying to say. The problem is what they are saying is of no particular value. There's of no particular substance, and it accomplishes nothing. There's nothing productive behind it. There's nothing actionable behind it. It's all emotional, raw emotion and nonsense to suggest that I wouldn't understand. That's the thing about the left and the right. The right, if you want to, lump everybody into that, we do understand what the left is saying because we point out what they're saying. And then the left fails to understand what we're saying and simply says that we don't understand either what we're saying for ourselves or that we don't understand what they're trying to say. But the reality is it's just kind of a vicious circle. So you can see here's the initial tweet. When President Biden took office, over 18 million Americans were receiving unemployment benefits. Today, that number is down by more than 90%. Well, here the context. COVID rapidly drove significantly higher than normal claims beginning in 320, peaking at 33 million in 720, and then gradually declining to today. For reference, the average from 2017 to 2019, this was when President Biden or Trump was in office, was 1.8 million. So they're basically, as usual, trying to take credit for things that they didn't necessarily accomplish, and they kind of piggyback off other people's work. It's really kind of ridiculous, and as you can see, this is why it was fact-checked. From the New York Times, White House deletes tweet crediting Biden with Social Security increase. The automatic cost of living increase that Social Security beneficiaries are receiving is a result of soaring inflation, not a policy achievement enacted by President Biden. They will find any and every kind of way to take credit for things that even they themselves didn't create or do for themselves. Washington. The White House on Wednesday deleted a widely mocked Twitter post that misleadingly attributed a recent increase in Social Security payments to older Americans to President Biden's leadership. The tweet, which had been posted on Tuesday, was removed without explanation a day later, after it had been skewered by critics and contradicted by a new Twitter feature that allows users to fact-check erroneous assertions. The automatic 8.7% cost of living increase that Social Security beneficiaries are receiving is a result of inflation running at a 4-decade high, not a policy achievement enacted by Mr. Biden. What a ridiculous and absurd situation. This is embarrassing, says Kate. Seniors are getting the biggest increase in Social Security checks in 10 years through President Biden's leadership. Well, actually, it's the establishment uniparty's surrogate president that they instruct to say these things. And then, of course, they're not all on the same page, as we've discussed before, because the White House and Karine Jean-Pierre and the president aren't on the same page because it's the uniparty that's running everything. The establishment is the one who's organizing all this to make sure they're on point, but they're not very good at communicating to these individuals about what they should be focusing on. So, ladies and gentlemen, there you have it. We got 2 different fact checks on the White House as well as Joe Biden, among many other fact checks that are occurring there on Twitter, to put things into context. And the left and the establishment uniparty aren't very happy about it, but I am I find it quite amusing nonetheless, so that now they can see what we experience. And I would love to see some of these changes on YouTube. So I'm hoping that Twitter sets an example for the rest of social media to know not to be afraid of and be controlled by woke cancel culture. And that's what I had for you guys this Friday.
All right, guys, so that's going to wrap it up for this Friday vlog. Thank you for the likes, the shares, and the comments. Below this video, you can find the various social media links that I belong to, where you can see my daily post, as well as the Amazon link if you guys are Prime members or order frequently from Amazon. You guys can use that link, go to the landing page, and search for what you're looking for. And of course, it helps out the channel here in 2022. Thank you for the likes, the shares, for those on New Tech, as well as here on YouTube, and appearing right there on the screen for all of you watching on YouTube. That would be the channel icon. You can click on that to subscribe, as well as to select notifications. That way you know when there's content here on the channel. And I'll see all you guys right there behind that camera next week.